Greetings from the Department of Computer Applications, Francis Xavier Engineering College. I welcome you all for this live webinar session by our alumnus and gold medalist, Mrs. T. Nageshwari, Technology Lead, Infosys Limited, Trivandrum.
And enlighten us. In Jesus' name we ask, Amen.
Thank you, Evelyn, ma'am. Now I request Mrs. S. Jasmine Mary to welcome the gathering.
Okay, good morning everyone. On behalf of Francis Xavier Engineering College Alumni Association, I welcome Nageshwari for this webinar. I congratulate HOD Angel Madam and all the staff members, Alumni Coordinator Stanley, for the wonderful arrangement of this webinar. I welcome Nageshwari for this interview. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your welcome. I now request Mr. D. Stanley to introduce the resource person.
Good morning to everyone. I feel much pleasure to introduce our honorable resource person, Mrs. T. Nageshwari, who is none other than our alumni. She is always well known for her discipline, caliber, and dedication in her work. She did her undergraduation in the discipline of maths from ST Hindu College, Nagarkoil. She completed MCA from our institution in the year 2010. We feel very much proud to say that she grabbed the Anna University first rank and she was a gold medalist. Regarding her experience, she worked as a senior software engineer with Osden Technologies, Trivandrum. She also worked as a senior software engineer with It Solution Private Limited, Trivandrum. She worked as a system analyst with the INAP Technology, Technopark, Trivandrum. She is also having a vast experience in working as a system analyst with Quest Global Private Limited, Technopark, Trivandrum. At present, she is working as a technology lead with Infosys, Trivandrum. She is having a vast professional experience from the backend skills in creating SQL objects, in entity frameworks, in Windows Service, in JavaScript, HTML5, in MVC5 with TTD programming, in Silverlight, in ASP.NET Framework, and in C# and various other modes. Totally, she is having nearly 10 years of experience in the development team as a senior software engineer. So we feel very much proud in introducing such a renowned personality in front of you. We assure you that this webinar will be an innovative one for all the members who are attending. I thank the institution and the department for giving me this golden opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, Stanley, sir. Now it's the time for the presentation. Over to Nageshwari.
Good morning, all. So it gives me immense pleasure for this opportunity. I thank our Kumar sir for giving me this opportunity and all the faculty members. And also thank to the Almighty for all the blessings I have right now. And today I'm here to discuss about a guide to become a full stack developer. Hope all you can hear my audio. So everyone, shall I proceed with the presentation? So now it's a session on how to become a full stack developer. So first we'll check what is full stack developer. So full stack development involves developing all the components of applications, including front end, back end, and database portion. So it's just a definition of what is full stack developer. So to understand fully what is full stack development is, we can just go through our life journey from academics to a software profession. Okay. So while we are in our academics, we have learned about this, and the only aim of our academics will be we have to get placed in a very good company, and we will be targeting that. So with our so much of effort, we will be placed in a very good company, and we while selecting into a company, we have a knowledge of so many what do we say languages and so many technologies related to computer. So here we have an audience will be like there may be corporate friends, my professors, and also students. So the coming next two slides are for the students who are listening to this webinar. So once you are selected in a campus recruitment, what happens is like you will become a software trainee in a software company. So there you will be given opportunity to learn new skills. They will be providing you trainings in a particular area. So maybe in C# or so many any kind of language, maybe one specific language. And you should be very what they expect from you is like your analytical skills should be good. You will be able to learn fast, and you should be able to communicate well. These are the things that what the company expects from you when you join as a fresher or a trainee to a software company. And so how this is related to full stack development, you can see later. So you become so we all have gone through the same steps. We have joined a company and we have gone through the software trainee, and the expectations from our company or our project manager, once we are assigned to a first project, will be like we will be able to know the domain first. So what is a domain in the sense, suppose if you are working in a hospital management system, then the domain is like what are the features you have in that hospital management system, like inpatient, outpatient. Suppose you are working in an billing software, so how billing is working, how you are calculating that domain, you should have a very good knowledge of the domain. And the architecture, so what type of architecture is being used, front end, back end, regarding that. So all my corporate friends may be already aware of all these things, and for the students, you have to go through in future these steps. So, and also how you develop. So simply writing a code is not it doesn't make you a very good software developer. The code you write should be very limited, should not create any bugs, or bug in a sense errors or mistakes. It should be very quality code. That is one of the good feature of a software developer. So all these things, these two slides is dedicated for all the students who are listening in this seminar. So once you are joining a company as a software professional, so from the starting itself, concentrate on developing your programming skills as well as soft skills. That will help you to build up your career. So now what happens is like we all have faced a situation like we are given a particular form to develop in our company. So this is a form. See, you have a user registration form. So you can see that you have so many text boxes, labels, and you have a register user button. So this is how your manager will show you this form and is asking you to develop this form. So well, for example, I think like myself, or anyone is being trained as an UI developer. So UI developer will be capable of developing only the UI portion of this. So you'll be able to develop only the screen. And so after that, this form has three parts. Like the view that you have seen is the UI, and once you click on that register user, what happens is the data will be saved in the database. That is the backend part. So a software developer may be an UI developer or a backend developer. So backend developer in the sense server side developer or a database. So right now, if I am an UI developer, what I do is I'll be working on the HTML and CSS part. Okay, so consider me, I am as a UI developer. So next is like, once this page, I have received this page. So this is also for the students. What happens is, once you receive a page, you have studied in software development life cycle. So you'll be going through these phases. So requirement phase. What is requirement phase? Is like, so this, what are the things you need in this form? You need login ID, password. So these are the requirement phase. You will first clarify with the end user what is the actual requirement is. Then the design phase. Design phase is like whether you want whether the button is right aligned, left aligned, what is the size of the button, as it is in a UI developer. So, and also if it is a backend, we will be designing what is the architecture used and all the other things. Okay. So then testing and maintenance. So now we arrive a situation like you are a UI developer who concentrates only on jQuery, and you have no knowledge of what AngularJS is or Knockout is. And you now arrive into a situation like your client is asking you to change it to a AngularJS application. So what happens is like, you are a 5 years experienced developer with only jQuery and JavaScript, and you have no exposed knowledge on AngularJS. So what immediately even all will say is like, so I'm a UI developer who is very well in jQuery, and I can't do AngularJS. So what the company has to do is they have to hire some professions from outside for doing this. Okay, so your value to the company is being decreased. So we will be a valuable person in a company till now. The company has some benefits from us, so we are able to contribute something to the company. Then we will be a very precious resource. So once we are not doing what they are expecting, our preciousness is being reduced. So now what happens is, as you are concentrating only on the UI technologies, you are not exposed to outside technologies. So even in UI subcategories of UI, your need for the company is being reduced. Okay. So this is a planning phase of it's just an extra information what you do in the requirement and planning phase. So this is also for the students. So once you receive this page, first what you do is like, you will be doing the planning. So in the planning, what happens is, what is a vision, what is a problem. So here the problem is like, you want to design a page and it is with Angular, and we don't have the Angular resource. Then we have to find whether you need to get Angular resources. Okay. Then you have project strategies. Contingency plan is like, if this doesn't goes good, what would be the other thing? What is the risk? Then what are the documentations we have, and what is the budget for this project? Maybe it is a registration, it maybe have hundreds of pages. So now we arrive into a situation like, I know only a particular technology, and I have no knowledge of the other technologies. So here comes the role of full stack development. Suppose if I am a full stack developer, so what I will be doing is like, I will be able to do the front end, in the sense client side view of a project, as well as the back end is a server side. Then I will be able to do the back end in the sense database portion also. So what I can be involved in a project from the requirement phase. I can talk to the client regarding what is the requirement they need. Then I can design the front end. Then I will be having the ability to decide whether the front end should be like Angular or React or Knockout or other thing. So this is what the full stack development is. So going in detail, so full stack development architecture is presentation layer, business layer, and database layer. So what is presentation layer? Suppose if you have a Facebook application. So once you see the Facebook, you have all the posts and everything. The view, what you are seeing will be the presentation. Means it is a client view, client's a browser view. That is what you have in the presentation layer. So what is a business logic layer? Suppose if you click on a like button or if you post some comment, what happens is it is going and saving in some database. So that comes in business logic layer and database layer. So this is the architecture of a full project. So you can see the first one is the client tier. So what are the technologies used is like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. All these technologies are used. And you can see the browser, Chrome browser, and what is that? A React desktop. And the business layer is like application server, Node.js, Express.js. So once I become a full stack developer, what I will do is like I will be able to develop an HTML page. I will be able to write CSS, and I will be able to write JavaScript. And again, I will be able to write any backend also. We can check in detail. So HTML, I think you all are aware of HTML. HTML is like a markup language. CSS is like styling. So suppose if you want to design a web page, you want the color of the web page to be white and one portion to be blue, and you have round buttons and you have attractive pictures. So everything can be handled using CSS. And JavaScript is what is like once a user do some actions. Suppose in for example in the Facebook application itself, once you click on the like button, what happens is like the count get increased. So what happens is it's a client side technology which is being used to increase the count. So for all the applications, if you click on F12 from the browser, you can see what are the scripts that is being used. Okay, so this is HTML5, which has been latestly used for MVC applications and all web development applications. So HTML5 is like it has a Razor engine support, which is used as model binding and other concepts. And these are the JavaScript libraries which is being used. So you can see that jQuery, all these JavaScript libraries are built on the top of means JavaScript is used to build all these things. So jQuery underscore React, Angular, everything is built with the use of JavaScript. So and CSS. So once you become a good UI developer, you will be able to create HTML pages. You will be able to write CSS. May not be a very good designer, but you know how to design a page. You have a general knowledge of designing a page, and also you should have the general knowledge of writing some codes on jQuery or JavaScript. So I think this is clear. These are the 3 client-side technologies. So if you want to learn further on HTML or CSS or JavaScript, I think there are so many free courses, tutorial point, and so many things are there. So just in your free time, for the students, this is only for students. You can just go through these tutorials and you can develop all your skills. It will be very interesting for having knowledge on HTML and CSS and also even in JavaScript. W3 schools, you have a very from scratch. You can learn what is JavaScript is. Okay. Then comes the server side. So once this client side is completed, then you have the server side. Server side is like C#, PHP. So these are the programming. I think we have learned about OOPS concepts and other things, or we have learned about CPP in our so even in C# we have come across in academics we have C#. So we should be able to we have to be strong in one of the server side technologies. So myself is a C# developer. So but suppose in my company, if I'm being posted to a Java project in between due to the non-availability of C#, then I should be able to do that also. Okay, so I should not say that I'm not a Java developer. I'll be doing only C#. So in both C# and Java, both we have OOPS concept. So it is our mentality and how we handle the languages. It is what it's our attitude. So and even Python is a new language, and PHP. Initially, we all be facing some difficulties on. We may not accept because we are working as a C# developer for 5 years, and immediately we say Java developer. It will be difficult for us, but we should not neglect an opportunity to become a Java developer. We should accept that, and we should try to get expert in that too. Okay, so now what happens is now we have come across I know what is it, HTML, I know CSS, I know JavaScript. Now I have a strong knowledge on C#, and if I was given an opportunity to work on other projects also, I will be able to work because I have learned the C# and Java in my academics. Then I can be able to do that, right? You have Java program lab as well as CPP programming lab. So in that case, if you are able to do it in the academics, then surely you'll be able to do in your organization also. Okay, then comes the database. Database is what? The table where the values are being stored. So you have there also, you have MySQL, Oracle, and MongoDB. Well, SQL and all is a structured relational database, and it is stored in the physical memory. And what is MongoDB is the document type of database. Means SQL is a relational. It might be some time consuming for retrieving the queries and all. It may take some time. So when you go for MongoDB and other NoSQL database, it will be very fast. And for larger applications with if you are having around 250 to 300 records or different tables has to be combined for one view, then in that case you'll be going for MongoDB. So you just imagine you have so many tables, you are performing so many joins and all these things. So in that case you'll be using MongoDB. So what happens is like you may be very expert in SQL, but also spend some time on learning what Oracle is, what MongoDB is, and other things also. So it will help you in your career. May not be immediately, may not help, but it will help you at any point of time. So this is a full view of what the full stack scales. So it is all what we have discussed right now. It is front end and back end. See, in the front end you have HTML, HTML5, JavaScript, jQuery, CSS. Back end, all these things, and database you have MySQL. So these three parts we have covered. So once you become a full stack developer, what happens is you can add all these technologies into your resume. So you can write, I am a full stack developer with front end skills this and the back end skills this, and database I have a working experience of database on all these things. Okay, So then next comes the version control and project management tools. So what is version control? I'll cover that. So let's check the next. Oh, version. So this is a version control. So it's also helpful for students as well as corporate. So and also we will be using the version control. What is version control? Version control is like I am working in my system and my colleagues are working in their own system, and everything will be saved in the central repository, and I will be committing the code to the central server. So it will be the combination of all our work combined and saved. So in version controls also we have different types of version control. So you can see that Git, it is not mentioned here. You have TFS, SV, and Tortoise, and so many version controls are there. So that also we should be able to work on. Means the way how you put this code in the Git and how the way you are doing it in the TFS will be different. So at least you should know what are the different version controls we have in our current system. Okay, so that is an extra knowledge. And what is project management tools? So what are the project management tools is like we have seen in our project, we have so many phases like planning, we have development and testing, so many things are there. So for managing all these things, we have so many project management tools. So these are Basecamp, Jira, Trello. So what it does is like it will when you want a task to be done, suppose if you want to create a page, what happens is like in Jira you will have a user story. So you will be defined as a user story, or you can just assume like you have a task to create a user registration page. And first up, what it will be like, it will be in the planning stage. So once the planning is completed, it will be in the development phase. So you can make it, I am the developer, I am doing it. So once the development is completed, it will be like in code review stage. So once a code review is completed, it will be in the testing phase, and the tester will be testing. And if the tester verifies that it is bug free, then it will be like it will be in UAT, like it will be going to the user. So that life cycle is being managed by this project management tools. So all these things are important to become a full stack developer. So as I initially said that I am a JavaScript developer and I will be concentrating only on this, and I don't have any knowledge on all these things. So you see that this is a vast thing that you need to that you should know, but you are limiting your knowledge only to JavaScript and jQuery. It's an example. So or otherwise you may be limiting your knowledge to only MySQL. I am an SQL developer, or I am a database person. I know only database, and I won't worry about this backend and this frontend. So this is not a good attitude, that we should learn all these things. And this is another one interesting topic that we are coming across in the corporate right now. What is like test driven development? What is the test driven development means? Like once you write a piece of code, that code might be have so many unknown errors, like means depending upon the data it receives, your code quality might not be good. So to test that, we have an approach called test driven development. So what if you suppose you write a two to three lines of code, what you do is you will test it. So actually this test driven development is a very vast topic, and it is like it's a technique to test the code you write. So all can develop or all can code, but the real thing is like whether the code that we are writing is of quality code. So even for the students who are listening the seminar, it's like once you just train yourself to write very quality code once you become a software professional. that will really add you so many values for your career. So you should always take care of some coding standards, coding principles, and it should not. It's always the quality of the project is very important. So for that we have so many measures, and test-driven development is one of the measures. So as a full stack developer, I should have a knowledge on what test-driven development is. So test-driven development is right currently we have it is in server side. We have for jQuery, all the places we have test-driven development. So we should know this also. So now I know all these things. I have knowledge on all these things, and I have test-driven development. I know about project management tool. I know about version controls and everything. Okay. So now I become a full-fledged developer. So this is one of the how the version control work. Like you see, I make some changes. One person makes some changes, and another person makes some changes, and other. So all these combinations are going to the main server. So how this is being managed? That also you should be aware of. These are the version control tools. We have Git and Tortoise SVN. And so maybe for the students, it may be very vague, like you may not be have a knowledge on these things, but once you become a software developer from the initial stage itself, you will be learning about all these things, and it is one of the mandatory thing in your day-to-day life that you cannot skip. So why the full stack development is important? So I am very comfortable with, I am a backend developer, or I am a front-end developer, and I am comfortable with what I am doing, and I don't want to be a full stack development. Why? What is the need of the full stack development is? So full stack development is like, it's a very, it's a very, it is very, for the company itself, it's a very good resource. Full stack development is, because now the companies are instead of hiring 3 different person, one for UI and one for backend and one for front end, database. Now the companies are focusing on, we should get a full person who will be a full stack developer. It doesn't mean that you need to work on all, but while deciding an project, or while deciding an architecture, you will have the ability to decide whether I have to use which technology. So you can suggest. So I have a working experience on UI. So you can use this for this particular page. You can use this technology. So you can suggest. So the companies are right now concentrating on full stack developer. So they know the complete architecture of the software. So once you are being to a one particular technology or one particular site, you won't be able to see that other side. You won't be able to, we won't try to see the other part. Means we won't be able to try to see what is the C# is doing, or what database is doing. But if you are being trained as a full stack developer, what happens is, like, even though you are a UI developer, and if there is something is breaking the database side, you will have the enthusiasm to go and look why database is failing, and I have the ability to fix that, and I can contribute at critical situations. So they know the full architecture of the project. So what happens is, like, this will increase the productivity of your whole project. So you can increase the whole project productivity, and also the decision making. You have the decision making skills. So these are the things why the full stack developers. Now you see, this is a very complex. So eShop mobile or eShop application. So once you see that, in the left hand side, you have the client apps, and in the right hand you have the database, and the center is a server. So this is how our architecture will be. So our project will be. Now, as a full stack developer, it's my choice whether I need to choose whether the client side or database or server side, or I can tell that I am so comfortable to work with anything. So I can work on anything. So if it is an HTML, yeah, fine, I can work. If it is a database, fine. So So, and you will have the complete picture of what you're doing. So you should be you should be trained, or you should train yourself to be a developer like this. So you will be there will be always a need for you in this corporate world, because the corporate world is always changing, and the technology is also very changing. So if you are stick on to one technology, and if you are not concentrating on other, at some point of time, even though we are a very good resource, we may not be useful for our company. And so by adding all these type of skills, we will be a wanted person in our corporate world. So I request all the persons to this webinar to just go through what it is like. You have the mobile app, and web app, HTML, Angular 2. So these are the things that we have discussed in this seminar right now. So is it easy to become a full stack developer? So how easy it is? So how to become a full stack developer is like, you should have that thing. Sometimes you when you are in a company where you are the responsible person for doing all the things, because I got an opportunity like that in my company. In my first company, was able to do all the stuffs, like from the project proposal till the production support or customer support. I got an opportunity to work on all. So once I receive a requirement, myself will be designing the means a prototype. Then I will be doing front end. Then I will be writing the backend C#, and then I will be storing. I will be designing the tables, and I will be saving it to the tables. I will be doing the testing. Then again, I even have done the deployment and everything. So sometimes we have the opportunity to do that, but sometimes we may be in a very big company, and you are exposed to a very small portion of work. So when you'll be working in a C# code, and that too in a very specific area, and you won't be going beyond that particular scope till 2 to 3 years or 4 years. You will be working only on that area. What happens is, like, after 4 years, you may not have the mindset to go back and learn all the new things. So what I request is, like, whenever you are starting your career itself, so in between I have a query, like how MongoDB is different from MySQL. So MySQL is like, you will be having the physical structure of the database, what you can see, how it is being saved. So you have a management studio, you just log into the system, and you can see the tables and everything. Actually, I was not connected to the system, so that's why I couldn't show it. Let me check. I don't have the SQL Server installed in my personal laptop. For example, I'm sorry. Just explain it what it is. So you have the physical table structure. Suppose you have, for example, you have a student table. You have college table. You have a student table, and you have a staff table. These are the three tables you have in your SQL. Okay. So in a page, you want to show all the department details, and you need to show in each department, you need to show the student details and also the staff details. So you are taking data from this three, and the data is very huge. You maybe have lakhs, suppose, assume. So what we do is, like, we will take all this combination. So for a particular view or a particular page, we know these are the data that has to be shown. So we take all the data and we create a document type of storage, that is MongoDB. So MongoDB is no SQL, there is no relational database. It is only like a document type. So what happens is, like, first page, or you can see like to a department home or college home page, you will have all the combination of all the data. So you will take all related data and save it as a document, or you can see like it will be like how you are saving in the notepad file. Like if suppose Redis is totally in notepad, Redis is another one caching mechanism that has been saved as a, means all the data is being converted to JSON and it has been saved in the document. In the same way, Mongo also it combine all the required data that is needed and it will be saved as a document. Okay, and you no need to go and take it from the database. Just for example, if you click on department 1, for that department or computer science and engineering, what happens is it will take all the related students and staff details that will be stored in the document, or you can imagine like a text document. So instead of going and retrieving in the database, selecting this particular department and then going to the student and selecting all the students under this particular department and also the staff, this data is already defined in a document format. That is why it is called NoSQL. I think it is clear. If I further explanation I can provide in the comment. Okay, so what I tell is like you have to learn so many languages, or you should have information on all the things like that is what I have previously said. Even though you are concentrating on one technology, you should have an eye on other technologies also, and also the backend skills, front-end skills, even data structures, and how it is being deployed in the customer environment. So there are so many things like cloud and all these things. You should have an knowledge on all that. And also refine your knowledge. How you will be refining your knowledge? Talk with your friends, talk with your colleagues, talks with other organizations. You share something, and all these things you can refine and read so many things, blogs and all the things. So that will refine your knowledge. Even if your thinking process is limited, if you read so many things, you can widen that. So that is, you always refine your knowledge and becoming familiar with all technologies, but a master of one. Like it is very important, because so instead of learning, you can tell that I know C#, I know Java, I know Python, I know HTML, everything, but you are not master of anything. That is also a very big mistake. Like you should be able to become a master of one thing. So even if it's a C#, I know end to end with C#, but I know Java also. I have the ability to work on Java. I have a knowledge on Java, but I'm a C# developer. So you should be a master of one. And also in the HTML, or I am a JavaScript jQuery developer, I know Angular, and I am ready to work on Angular. I have. So these are some of the things that servers and their functioning you should know. We may not look in while becoming a developer. We may concentrate only on the development. Like we will be defining functions, we'll be defining variables and all the other things, and we may not think about how the application is being deployed in our server, because so only by coding alone won't make the project successful. So project successful is like we have to code, we have to be combined, the work has to be combined, it's to be tested, and it's to be deployed to the server, and it should be used by the end user. The performance should be good, and everything is there. So simply I'm telling like I have done my portion and it should work. It is working fine, and that's all. That's not. You have to think on how servers are working. So if you are writing a very good page, and in the server side, or on the customer side, if it is down, then it's of no use. Your total work of 1 month will be of total waste. So you should know what other things also, apart from that lines of code. You should have a knowledge on servers and their functioning, how networks, like web hosting environments, so algorithms and their formulations, and data structures. So programming technologies, database, and management. So these things also you should know. So simply typing, so doing some programming, this doesn't make you as a software engineer. So you should know all the end-to-end process. So till it reaches the client in a safer manner. So for example, if you are in a car company and you are developing a door of a car, and you are telling like, I have done the job very well, and the door is very perfect, it should be working very correctly, and I'm very satisfied for what I have done. Okay, that's all, my work is over. But after fitting the door, the car is not starting. So in that case, even though you have put so much effort on doing the door very good, there is no use on the effort that you have put in your task or work. The same way, if you write a piece of code that is very good, and at the end product is not reaching to the customer, then the effort that we have giving inside in our project will be of no use. So always think in our perspective as well as the company and also the client perspective to develop a very good software. So that is one of the important skill all the software developers should have. Then the other thing is like take a course. This is to develop ourselves for all these technologies. Like there are so many online courses. So full stack development courses are there, and you can be a certified MVC developer or certified JavaScript. So take certifications on everything, and all the companies are right now giving so much value for your certification. So gold certifications and everything. So take a course, and you have applied, you have taken certifications, and you don't have any practical knowledge on how you are working. So you have so JavaScript certificate and you have MVC certificate and everything, but you don't have any practical knowledge on how it is being working. Then that is also of no use, because you should have some practical knowledge on how it is working. So simply certification is of no use. So you should have some practical knowledge on, or doing some demo projects. So you can see like in all the companies right now have hackathons and ideathons and all. So participate on that. We may not be interested in participating all these things, but just give a try. Participating on that will make us more effective. So you can meet so many other people who are of very good skills. You can communicate to them. You can improve your skills, and you can get some path of how to improve your skills. Okay, so have some practical exposure, and this is also the right way to structure code, and right data structure to use, all these things. So once you become a software developer for 5 years or 8 years, say 8 years of experience, it's fine that you write some code and do something. So once you become a senior person, then what happens is like you'll be having the responsibility of finding the architecture that has to be used for the project. Suppose if you are not a full stack developer, and if you don't have a knowledge on how to select the, so see if you have 5 years of experience with different technologies, in that case only when you become an 8-year or a 10-year experienced person, you'll be able to identify, or you can select, okay, this is this. So there is another concept called entity framework and SQL. So whether entity framework is good or SQL is good. So in that case, you should have the working experience of both entity framework and SQL. In that case only you can tell that, okay, SQL is better than entity framework. So if you don't know what entity framework is, like at your 10 years of experience, you can't identify which is good. So for that, you should have work experience on everything. So that it is not comes in a just 1 or 2 days. You should practice that towards your career. So in your so for students, if you are going for a corporate work, and if you are given different different type of works which is not used to it, accept all those work and do it. It will be difficult at first, but do it, so that it is a value for you only. You will be a very good in that technology, and it will be an add-on to you. So don't have a very isolated path, have a broad minded path. So this is also an additional assignments in your company. Like, there will be so many POCs and other things will be there. So take an initiative and participate. Our friends might not be encouraging you to participate, but take a try at least once in a year. Do something knowledge management, contribute something to knowledge management, or contribute something as a common project which will be useful for other persons, or like some user controls, whether people can use it. So all these things you can just give a try. If you are really interested, you will be give some try on that. So these are the additional assignments. These will surely help you to become a full stack developer. I just go through the steps. What's all. So first is like have a knowledge on all the languages what you are doing. Even though from the academics, just have a quick recap or all these languages I've learned in my college. So it is easy for me to once again to work on that. So speak with different people, grasp so many knowledge, and what is like apart from coding or Visual Studio or HTML, have an eye on the servers, deployments, web hosting, how networking, how DevOps is working, and how the client site is working. So is there any performance issue? How they are, performance are being tuned? All these things have some idea about that. So that makes you a full-fledged software engineer who knows all the end-to-end product. Means like you can start a software company if you own, if you have all this information. So from the client requirement till the production support and everything, you will be able to do all the part of the software. Okay. So take a course. There are so many online course, and do it, practice yourself. Okay. And practical exposure. So in your company, if you have any POCs or additional assignments, please take it up. So what are the benefits of the full stack developer? So full stack developers and assert to any team. So full stack developer is an assert in the sense you will be very much valued in your company, and they will be very much self-motivated, quick learners, and very flexible, because they know different technologies. So even if they are not working in one technology, they will be very easy to shift to other technology and work. Okay. In addition, there are while communicating with the full stack developer, you'll be able to grasp so many things from regarding to software. So other benefits is like right now the demand for software full stack developer is very high. Now the companies are just posting the need only for full stack developer with any of the highlighted server side technology, like a full stack developer with Angular as 2 years of experience, or a full stack developer with Java as 5 years of experience. So you should be a full stack developer in the sense you will be able to handle all the things that I have discussed in this webinar. Means client side, database, everything. You should have knowledge on that in addition to your main skill. So most startup and software companies are looking for full stack developer who knows the entire development web cycle inside and out. They should know everything. So that is another one requirement. So what happens is like you will be always wanted. So rather than hiring two separate developers for front end and back end, they prefer to hire a full stack development who has experience to make beautiful, functional, interactive web application from end to end. So this is what the company requires right now. So they will be able to make a very productive software, and they are ready to pay as much, because the salary of the full stack developers are very high as compared to a normal single skilled person. So this is a salary trend of a full stack developer. So see that for 8+ years of experience, the salary is like 26 lakhs per annum. So if you are a full stack developer, so this is for 0 to fresher, it will be like 6-8. So you may ask the questions like why you want to develop all these skills and what is the benefits. Is only you will be benefit so much. So all the benefits you have once you make your career, or once you build your career as a full stack developer, you will be reaching a very high level. So anyway, you will be having a very attractive package, and that is I think that is all what that is also a very important thing why we are working in the software field for 10 to 12 hours a day. For so apart from your daily work, concentrate on making the skills, other skills also, so that it will be very helpful for your career and reach a very high post in your life career, software career. That's all. I think I've completed my session. So any queries or anything can feel free to ask.
Thank you, Nageshwari, for your wonderful and valuable talk. It will be very useful for the student community, and hope so. This session will be very useful for everyone. Now, I request our Director Alumni, Mr. Krishna Kumar sir, to share a few words about this session.
And thank you, Nageshwari, for your wonderful presentation. Also, you have worked more for preparing many slides, and it will be useful for the developer. Also, frequently give a guest lecture to our juniors also for their future. So thank you, and it was a wonderful session. Thank you for your support.
Okay. Thank you, Kumar sir. And now I request Mr. D. Stanley to share a few words about this session.
Thank you, Nageshwari, for your very nice session. Hope it will be very useful for all the college students and also the corporates. As some of the students are not aware of the basic understanding of the full stack development, hope it will be very useful for them. It will be also very informative also. You just gave your presentation in a full-fledged manner. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hope this session will be very useful for you all. I thank our Almighty God for this successful completion of this webinar. I thank our management, SCAT group of institutions, Professor P&D Principal, for their support. A special thanks to Mr. Krishna Kumar, Director Alumni and AGM, for his valuable presence. And I thank all the faculty members who involved in all these activities, especially Alumni Coordinator, Mr. D. Stanley, and Mr. A. Arul Amalraj for materializing this webinar like relay. And I thank the resource person, Mrs. T. Nageshwari, MCA Department Alumni, Technology Lead, Infosys Limited, Trivandrum, for her valuable knowledge sharing. And finally, I thank all the participants from various institutions and from Francis Xavier Engineering College. Once again, I thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all. Thank you for the valuable opportunity.
You can share your queries. Feedback link is posted at in the chat box. You can share your queries. If you are having any queries, it will be sorted. Thank you for your wonderful feedback.